Hi everyone, welcome to this week's super interesting market update. The numbers this week are crazy, going exactly in the direction I thought they were going, and it is very bad news for sellers. So let's look at what happened. In Georgetown last week, we only had 5 sales. That is so low. And I can tell you from the listings I have, buyers are just not willing to pull the trigger right now. We have seen a massive slowdown in buyer activity, and 5 sales when we have as much inventory available as we do is a really, really bad number. Looking at new inventory, here is our story. 30 new listings in Georgetown this week. 30 of them. I do not remember the last time we saw 30. I'm questioning if ever. Maybe last year at one point we might have hit 30, but 30 is like an astronomical number. I'm all fired up today, sorry guys. An astronomical number for Georgetown's new listings. I'll have a few more comments later. Acton this week, 2 sales, still getting sales in Acton, which is good because that market generally dies when the market is dying. But 7 new listings, that's a huge number for Acton. Inventory is climbing there. Glen Williams this week, no sales, 1 new listing. Limehouse, no sales, no new listings. The rural market, 1 sale and 5 new listings. So again, a massive increase based on sales versus new listings. A couple of notes from sort of my analysis of that. So in Georgetown, we had 1 property that sold at around 1.4 million, and then the next highest property was 816,000. So our higher price point stuff is completely dead in the water. No one is buying it, and we are in a situation. So we had 5 sales, 1 of them around 1.4 million, and the rest 816,000 and under. So that's not great news. Another thing to note, I often do, I do my expireds, terminates, and suspension listings, and then I take them out of the new listings because they don't count, right? So when I pull open that expired listings from last week, there was 28, which is huge amount. This is exactly where we were last year when the market started to change because people are not getting the prices they want, or they're trying for bidding wars, they're not getting it, they're having to terminate and relist their properties. So 28 of them throughout Halton Hills, which is a huge number. If I have to scroll down, it's a lot. And then of those 28, 15 came completely off the market. They're like, we're getting out of here. So 15 of them came off the market, and 13 of them re-entered the market at a different price. Some of them slightly higher because they tried offer nights and it didn't work because we're not in that market anymore. And the rest of them came on the market at a reduced price from where they were. So just some really interesting numbers, and this is the kind of activity we saw when the market was really shifting last year. So now looking at active inventory, I had a heyday looking at all these numbers, and I even went back to 2022 and was kind of reviewing because a lot of sellers are still in the mindset of 2022, and to get people out of that is near impossible. It's why can't they see that the market is changing? It's wild, right? So I'm gonna have a lot to talk about with these active listings, so just bear with me. So our active listings in all of Halton Hills is up to 179 active listings this week. That is up from 153. Huge number. And so I take out all the new builds. I don't consider them if a builder is going to put a property on the market, I pull those things out of there. So 179 actual resale homes available on the market in all of Halton Hills right now. That's up from 153, which that is a massive jump. And again, it's not exactly equivalent because we had 15 come off the market. So imagine if those 15 didn't come off the market. We would be pushing our highest inventory in the last 3.5 years since I've been doing these market updates. So watching this really closely, but that's not good news. And the last time we saw 179 listings was our August 2nd update of 2022. So it has been over a year since our inventory levels have been this high. And we all know where the back half of last year went, and we're going, I think, right in that direction. Talking a mile a minute today feels lots going on. Sorry, guys. So Georgetown this week, we are up from 92 active listings to 105 active listings. we are still fundamentally kind of far from where we came from. In terms of like last July, we were around 140. So we've still got room, but week to week, if this keeps jumping up 10 to 15 listings, it's not long. It's by October, we are gonna be up into those high listings. The last time we saw 105 active listings in Georgetown was last September 20th of last year. That update had 105 active listings. So again, just showing where we came from. But looking at our price points this week, under 800,000 is up slightly from 7 to 8. Again, this price point move's still pretty good. 800 to $1 million is up significantly from 12 to 19 active listings. So a lot more stuff available, 800 to $1 million. And it is not moving in the way that we are used to seeing it move. Another kind of sad update are the next two price points. So 1 to 1.5 million is up from 38 to 42 active listings. It has been a very long time since we have been over 40 listings in that price point. And that is a very saturated price point right now. And inevitably, we are going to start to feel those prices coming down. 1.5 million plus is up from 30 to 36. These people still thinking they can get these like $2 million subdivision houses in Georgetown. When our inventory is doing the things it's doing, and when our sales are as low as they are, these houses are never gonna move. So we're up to 36 over 1.5, like no one's buying them. Okay, now looking at Acton. Acton this week is up from 21 to 26. That is the highest inventory I think I've ever seen in Acton, and not good news for the sellers in Acton because the sales are definitely not keeping up to the new listings lately. Glen Williams is up slightly from 5 to 6, so nothing crazy in the Glen. Like inventory generally always sits pretty low here. Limehouse remained the same at 3. The rural market, highest number I've ever seen. Mark my words. Rural market up from 32 to 39 active listings. So we have a boatload of rural properties available at the moment. And again, these all generally come with a higher price tag, and those buyers are just not here. Buyers are taking a back seat right now because they are kind of scared at what's going to happen, and this all supports it. One thing I commented on earlier was 2022. So I went back into my notebook in 2022 when we were at the peak of pricing, which some people still are like, I think I could get that. Okay, I'm just gonna give you an idea. February 2nd of 2022 was my lowest inventory market update in 2022. We had 39 active listings in all of Halton Hills. Right now we have 179. You see the supply and demand issue here. In Georgetown, we had 15. Right now we are at 105. So like, there was nothing available last February. No wonder prices were where they were. Like, it's just crazy when you think about the gap in numbers. And I mean, Acton had 6, it's up to 26, it's massive. Glen Williams was 2, Limehouse was 3, so not crazy. And the rural market was only 13. So all these properties had like no competition, and there was tons of buyers, and our interest rates were like 4% lower than they are now. The market is not anything like 2022. I think most people are coming around to that, but we need to really think about where we came from, and that is not going to happen again for a very long time. I do think at some point when interest rates settle, our prices will probably bounce back to levels that we saw in 2022. Things just go up. But right now we are in such a different market, and unfortunately for sellers, this kind of activity, low sales, high inventory, high new inventory, is going to equate to prices softening, and I think they're gonna soften at a pretty significant rate. So this is a wild update for me. I was like looking at the numbers, I was like, it's what I thought was gonna happen in September, and like we are here, and where this lands by like mid-October is going to be super interesting. So if you are a seller, you need to adjust your expectations right now, because the market is, if you have a buyer that's willing to put an offer on your property, you should probably exhaust that to like the max, because there's just not a lot of buyers that are willing to put offers on properties. So we are watching this closely. If you have any questions, I went over so much today, but if you have any questions, reach out. But I will be back next Tuesday. Have a great week, everyone.